Mhm. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on what time zone you're in or what time you're watching this video. And today we're back with Inpatient. This is Dr. Meyers. I'm curious. I'm excited because these guys always 10 out of 10. And I'm kind of curious to see what style it is in. So, without further ado, love you all. Let's jump right in, shall we? Let's go.
All my thoughts are turning blue. Tell me what's the boy to do. All my yesterdays are fading from the view. And every night I lay awake, waiting for the day to break, just to share another memory with you.
Dear diary, it's Jeremiah. I've been trying more to write because these nights get mighty long upon this ward right after light. The bedside lamp illuminates the trailing path of my pen. That's how I feel about the good Dr. Meyers, my friend. You see, so Dr. Meyers said that I'm responding so exquisitely and physically responsive to prescriptions on delivery. I'm fit to be walking out here in 3 weeks tops. I want to be just like the doctor when I grow up.
Okay, I don't like how this is going.
We can't afford none. I'm getting let into this trial was a gift from the sun, and we got shined on from the heavens. Man, this doctor's my hero. He sometimes jokes around and calls me patient zero, cause my patience zero. I mean, I'm kinda hyper. I'm prone to be staying up and pulling all-nighters, and these side effects kind of make my sleeping a nightmare. My mouth gets dry sometimes, no saliva. The pain ain't stopping, but the doctor said patience. My patience is zero. I told you I hate it. The doctor said it gets dark before dawn. Every rose has its thorns, best to weather the storm. So 4 in the morning, I'll say goodnight. And if I sleep, then it's a blessing from the holy skies. Every night is a drag, but the daytime's nice, cause Dr. Meyers will be there, so I know I'll be fine.
All my thoughts are turning blue. Tell me what's the boy
And the whole
to
screen's
do.
blue now too. I do not like where this is going, guys.
Fading from the view. And every night I lay awake.
It's so hard on parents too, like,
Just to share another memory with you.
Dr. Rick Meyers, September 21st. Patient 13 appears to be getting worse. It's seeming like these treatments not only failed to work, but have made his condition critical. Crippling adverse symptoms and side effects like the last 12 kids. Pardon me, I mean test subjects. I gotta give myself distance from my feelings.
Yo.
Science, nothing more. And so I hide behind that mindset anytime that I'm unsure. I was hired to find a cure, and so at times I come off heartless. But my job's to stay on target and bring this product to market. Gotta keep the funding coming, gotta finish what we started. Gotta crack some eggs to make this multi-million-dollar omelet. With these corporate pharma reps, and they've been breathing down my neck. And they're the ones who write the checks, really, what the fuck you expect? I got a wife and 2 boys of my own I gotta protect. So these kids at the clinic are just numbers I've written next to the date and time of the test. Nothing more, nothing less. Blame the parents if you want it. They sign a form of consent.
Bro.
But this Jeremiah kid, there I go again. Patient 13, I mean, something about him's different. Says he wants to be like me, and so I say that he'll be coming. Even better, doctor, knowing that that day'll never come. His pulse has been getting weaker. Now there's fluid in his lungs. Dr. Meyers? Get some rest, patient 0.
Oh.
We're almost
All
done.
my thoughts are turning blue. Tell me what's the boy to do. All my yesterdays are fading from the view. And every night I lay awake, waiting for the day to break, just to share another memory with you.
oh,
Dr. Rick Meyers, September 29th. Patient 13 didn't make it through the night. His name was Jeremiah, and he loved to read and write. And I can't help but feel responsible. I gotta make this right. Gotta find that breakthrough, gotta give the company something, or else I'm afraid they'll start to lose interest and pull their funding. So I studied every study and double-checked every entry in the journal I've been writing, just hoping something will catch me. Didn't sleep for 3 days till I figured it out. And once I did, I knew that I could realistically vouch to have it finished up by Christmas. So I called and set a meet so I could tell my bosses I was just weeks away from complete. Little patient 13 and the 12 who came before him, and the sacrifice they gave us would be for something important. For the science to prevail, gotta learn to live with the losses. I repeated in my thoughts as I went to step in the office. Hey, I'm here for the meeting.
Oh yes, Dr. Michaels, have a seat.
It's Meyers. Just you here today?
Well, You know how busy things get.
Right. Okay, well, anyways, I finally had a breakthrough in the research with the formula, and it's actually...
Okay, let me just stop you right there.
But...
We've decided to go in a different direction with the funding.
What?
Well, there's this new weight loss product in trials right now. Gila Monster Venom, actually.
Gila Monster?
Yeah, everyone's really excited about it over here.
But kids died on my watch.
Listen, we are so sorry to hear that.
You're sorry?
We want to thank you so much for your hard work, Dr. Michaels.
Myers.
Sure, and you really are one of our best and brightest.
But...
Listen, I'm sure we'll have another project with your name on it very soon.
No. Listen,
Great, I'll have my assistant reach out.
Assistant?
Have yourself a nice day.
All my thoughts are turning blue. Tell me what's the boy to do. All my yesterdays are fading from the view. And every night I lay awake, waiting for the day to break, just to share another memory with you.
Bro. Okay. So, wow. Man, I think what gets me the most is like how realistic this freaking song is. It's such a sad representation of what can actually and does actually happen, because this is reality for so many people, kids, adults, whatever, everybody. But this is what happens. This is like you know, like when there's clinical trials, it's clinical trials. We don't know if it's going to work or not. And so people show up, people who have nothing else to hope on, nothing else that they can believe in. And they show up and they hope that things will go better now, this time. And it's like, this is almost like the last leg that, like we saw here, that many people stand on. And yeah, I think what shocks me the most is kind of the perspective we got of the doctor, because I think a lot of the time, and I think, oh man, I'm sorry, this is like, oh frick. Okay, so I think that in terms of when we think about these moments, we do often think of patients first, and I think that's important. I think that it's important that we do think of patients first, but this is a really good job of giving us the perspective of what it feels like to be someone who, like the doctor, who's someone who wants to create positive change and is actually striving to do so, so much so that your heart is bleeding over to your logic. Like we see him so many times kind of say, no, you can't think of him as a kid. And that's so sad, isn't it? Like and it's not because he doesn't want to, it's because it would break him if he did. Because if he starts thinking of these individuals who are under his care, these children who he lost, and tries to kind of, and if he thought of them less as patients, more as people, these would be people that he cared about that he continues to lose. And like, this is the struggle that the good-hearted, good-natured doctors experience, because they're trying, or researchers or scientists, because they're trying to do best for everybody, for on the grand scale. They're trying to push the needle in a positive direction. And then we see the change at the end, where we get this the corporation, the big pharma, coming in and saying, no, we're not actually going to pursue this anymore. Thanks for what you've done. We actually might have a spot for you on a different path. You know, we've been looking at this weight loss drug, and it's like, because that happens where funding is put towards aesthetics, funding is put towards things that will make more money, things that are more going to have more commercial success, instead of continuing the funding that might save lives. And as a result, people suffer. And it's heartbreaking, because it's like, it's right there. sometimes. Like we saw here, the doctor just had like almost an epiphany at the end. He had this kind of moment of realization of what needed to be done. And when he approaches the big pharma here, they're like, great, glad you got that breakthrough, but don't worry about it. We're not working on that anymore. Thanks for what you've done so far. We're actually going in a different direction. We're looking at this commercial drug that might be more received by more people. And it's like, what about the life-saving work that was being done? What about the people that can live as a result? And we see this all around. Listen, I am not part of any research, but I would be willing to bet that a lot of research is slowed simply because it's not going to be a money-making machine if something gets fixed. I myself am a diabetic, type 1, and I use needles, insulin, all that jazz. And it costs a lot. And I thankfully have insurance, which can cover it, but not everybody does. And a lot of the time what happens is people spend so much of their money trying to get the stuff that they need to live. And that's not even just talking about diabetes. We look at cancer treatment. We look at so many different types of treatment that exist. And there's so many people that are suffering because these things are not made available to them. They're made available at a price. And that price point isn't something everyone can always purchase. And so to see progress slowed, this is what happens. This is what happens because if this doctor had found a cure, then maybe there wouldn't be the need for people to purchase anymore, because once they're cured, there's no customer. Because that's what a lot of these corporations think of people as, customers, not people. And that's kind of what this doctor was trying to do in his own head. And you can see it. You can see him through the song trying to kind of convince himself, don't think of it as a child. Because in his heart, he wants to heal this child. He wants to make them better. But in his mind, he knows that if he starts to think of this person here as a child, it might slow his progress, because it might slow his journey to the cure, because he would suffer in terms of emotional, just the drag, right? The anchor that happens is you lose lives and you lose people in your life that you're supposed to protect, you're supposed to help. So instead, he tries to shift it towards this corporative mindset. And then when he finally figures out how to fix things, that's when the actual big pharma comes and says, don't worry about it. We're going to refocus. We're going to change directions. Do you want to be a part of that? No, that's not what he got into being a doctor for. Wow. This song, it's so powerful just because of how connected it is to reality, and what it puts in the limelight what often happens to research. And it's not always, that's not what I'm saying, but it is often, and it comes down to money, and that's so goddamn sad. So I often think, how many lives would be bettered if more funding was put into science, more funding was put into research, more funding was put into medicine, and so many other avenues. Like, this is just one of them. Instead of like war, instead of like just these baseless, useless confrontations that exist in the world. Man, just amazing. Like, this is the one thing about these two, like Webby and Ren, that I really, really love. And I say this a lot. It comes down to what they want to put forward and how they want the world to change. They are stepping up to the plate and swinging because they're trying to make the needle move. And they're basically the doctors in this situation in some ways, not always. And I don't mean like they're going to create a cure, but I mean like they're trying to push the needle in a way that it enables others to get to this point, because maybe by spreading the word, by spreading the knowledge and the understanding that there can be a pivotal like social change and societal change towards something better, towards progress where people benefit, not just the few, but all. And that's what they make their songs about. And you can feel it in the way that they make the songs, in the way that they carry themselves, in the way that the lyrics, the music, but the message truly is the most powerful and pivotal part of the whole thing. And just, Man, I amazing. Obviously, you know that. We know that. It's always going to be amazing, but like so meaningful and impactful. And that's what these two do all the time. Man, I was not like I kind of once the song started and once we got into the first kind of verse, I kind of saw where we were going, but I think giving us the doctor's perspective is such an important piece to this because it really shows you that it's not like doctors are always trying to do like they're not always just prescribing things. Like I mention it a lot, and I say always with the disclaimer of this is not always the case because there are some doctors who are in it for money, but a lot of people don't get into being a doctor because they want to make a lot of money. Most people are getting into being a doctor because they want to make a difference. And this strips away the ability to make that difference. And I love that Ren and Webby put this into a song for us to be able to see and be able to kind of identify and often probably relate to because this happens to so many people. Man, wow. I don't even know. I don't think. No, let's go back. Let's go back. If you were here for the reaction, I hope that you enjoyed. I'm sorry it got. I'm actually not even sorry because I think that's the whole point of this, right? It's to create that dissonance internally and emotionally in ourselves to understand the different these problems that exist and be able to put a spotlight on it. That's what they're doing this for. So this kind of emotional weight that comes with the song is part and parcel, and I really appreciate that they did that. Sorry, but if you stayed for the reaction, I hope you enjoyed. I hope that your week is better than your day, your month is better than your week, and your year is better than your month. But let's go back and let's break it down. My God.
All my thoughts are turning blue. Tell me what's the boy to do? All my yesterdays are fading from the view. And every night I lay awake, waiting for the day to break, just to share another memory with you.
Even that, like to share another memory with you, like it sounds like we're talking about to be able to tell you something else, but it's actually to enjoy both. It's that, but it's also to be able to experience another moment with you because we don't know how much time we have left. And I really like that we get this chorus both for the kid Jeremiah, but also for Dr. Meyers because like it's both parties are trying to do right and trying to see the light and to push towards that success. But it also kind of gives you that perspective. They're in this journey together too. They're both experiencing the sadness when it doesn't go well. And I really like the part about lying awake. It's like, yeah, part of that is like your thoughts are so heavy in those moments and things are so hard in those moments that you're just stuck up at night thinking about those. But the other part of that is there's so many medications and routes in terms of clinical trials that end up with this, like the side effect being unable to sleep. Like you almost become an insomniac because that's what the medicine is doing. And so you're literally lying awake. Not only are you stuck lying awake, but you're also thinking about all these things as you're lying awake, which just makes the weight of that so heavy.
Dear diary, it's Jeremiah. I've been trying more to write because these nights get mighty long upon this ward right after light. The bedside lamp illuminates the trailing path of my pen. That's how I feel about the good Dr. Meyers, my friend. You see, so
that's so hard because it's like, yeah, the child is even looking at the doctor as their friend. And they're hoping that their friend will help them. Their friend is here to help you. And the sad part about that is the friend is trying. Like, it's not like they're not trying. The doctor's doing their best, but in a way, he's not really able to be your friend. But for a child, they don't necessarily understand that because to them, it's like, this person's going to help me. This person's my shining light. This must be a friend. And yet we all know that to some extent, like doctors have to separate themselves from their patients in some way. Because if you get emotionally connected to every patient, especially when you're doing a job like this, you're going to lose so many people and it's going to weigh your emotions down so heavily and it's going to weigh on your mind and it's going to tear you apart. And so to some extent, you have to create that distance. But the child, how would they ever understand that?
It's the trailing path of my pen. That's how I feel about the good Dr. Myers, my friend. You see, so Dr. Myers,
even that illuminates the path of my pen, but like they're saying that the doctor illuminates their path. It's like they're trying to set you on the right course to be better, to get better. And that's what we're seeing here, and that's what it feels like. So it's the pen giving us guidance because we're doing self-reflection, hoping to understand ourselves better and maybe be able to kind of attack those parts of ourselves that are doubting it, so we can kind of build hope. But that's where that hope is coming from. But then it's also coming from the doctor who's illuminating the path forward with the medicine that's supposed to help you.
said that I'm responding so exquisitely and physically responsive to prescriptions on delivery. I'm fit to be walking out here in 3 weeks tops. I want to be just like the doctor when I grow up.
That's probably the most brutal line of me. Like, I want to be just like the doctor when I grow up, for two reasons. Like, one is we know that the doctor isn't having the same thoughts. They know that this is not going to work, right? So it's like you're not necessarily going to ever grow up to that point. But it's like the irony is like we think of this doctor as this saint who will take us and create goodness, but it's like they're actually like they know this is not working. They almost, the doctor almost probably wants to tell the patient that it's not working, but they can't. So in a way, we're almost lying to the patient, because if we don't, oftentimes our mind and our kind of mentality plays a role in our body's health. So if the patient starts to feel like it's not working, then it's even more likely to not work. And so to some extent, the doctor is lying, but it's out of goodness. And it's like this crazy, like, circle on itself, and the weight of that is just so heavy.
Walking out here in 3 weeks tops. I want to be just like the doctor when I grow up. Mommy said that we got lucky because we can't afford none. I'm getting let into this trial was a gift from the sun, and we got shined on from the heavens. Man, this doctor's my hero. He sometimes jokes around and calls me patient zero, cause
Patient zero, and patient zero is like the start of the disease. Like, that's what usually is reserved for patient zero. But also, like, I think something that I think is beautifully done in the song is we don't actually get a verse about the parents, but the visuals really help paint a lot of that picture, where it's like they're walking into the room and there's always like a smile or an attempt at a smile, because that's all that parents can do in situations like this. All they can do is hope to God, hope to whatever that you believe in, that the child will, that their child will get better. Because what else are they to do? They don't have any ability here to help, because it's something they can't control. The only person who can help is the doctor, so they're putting all their faith here too. And so when they walk into that room, the weight of that feeling is on their shoulders, but they have to put on that smile and hope that can inspire their child to also keep pushing, because they don't want to lose that child. They don't want to lose their child. It's their child. God, this
heavens,
song,
this
man.
doctor's my hero. He sometimes jokes around and calls me patient zero, cause my patience zero. I mean, I'm kinda hyper. I'm prone to be staying up and pulling all-nighters, and these side effects kind of make my sleeping a nightmare. My mouth gets dry sometimes, no saliva.
And makes sleeping my nightmare. Like it's a nightmare, because it's while you're awake. It's literally your waking nightmare, because you can't fall asleep. You're just constantly subjected to being awake in this nightmare, this live nightmare that's existing right now. And then we get this kind of, one thing I really thought was interesting was changing the shades to actually be blue, and then we get a red line through it, which almost represents like the flat line that we're going to see in a minute. And it's just,
make my sleeping a nightmare. My mouth gets dry sometimes, no saliva. The pain ain't stopping, but the doctor said patience. My patience is zero. I told you I hate it. The doctor said it gets dark before dawn. Every rose has its thorns. Best to weather the storm. So 4 in the morning, I'll say goodnight. And if I sleep, then it's a blessing from the holy skies. Every night is a drag, but the daytime's nice, cause Dr. Myers will be there, so I know I'll be fine.
All my thoughts are turning blue.
that part's so hard too, because it's like, we know that it's the last time he actually gets to be awake. So him wishing for that sleep is actually an eternal sleep, one that he doesn't wake from. But on the other side of it, he's still thinking, oh, it'll be nice because the doctor will be there. Oh, God, man.
Lions will be dead, so I know I'll be fine.
All my thoughts are turning blue. Tell me what's the boy to do. All my yesterdays are fading from the view.
Even that line, it's like all like the yesterdays are fading from the view. There's two kind of perspectives on it, because one is like, actually three, because one is like you're starting to forget, your memory's starting to lapse, which can often be a side effect. Two is those dark times, you're starting to hope for better times, so those dark times are fading away in the background. And then the third is like, as he approaches his final moments, it's fading because there's nothing left, because you cannot, as far as we know, recall memories from the grave. And so to him, it's literally fading from view because he's fading from the world. And that's just such a heavy bar.
Fading from the view. And every night I lay awake, waiting for the day to break.
Even as they leave, he's still awake because he can't fall asleep.
Dr. Rick Meyers, September 21st. Patient 13 appears to
Oh,
be
yeah.
getting worse.
I think it's important they chose 13 because it's often the unlucky number 13. And that's like what the patient's number is. And he's literally the unlucky one because he's the last one in this trial, and the trial ends after this. So if it didn't work with him, it doesn't work at all. And it didn't work with him, so it didn't work at all. So the number is perfect.
Meyers, September 21st. Patient 13 appears to be getting worse. It's seeming like these treatments not only failed to work, but have made his condition critical, crippling adverse symptoms and side effects.
And that's the thing too, is like a lot of it's not a lot. Depending on the trial can actually make things worse. It can actually exacerbate the problem and make it so that you go from suffering to this, where you are no longer with us. And it's like, that's what the doctor's been dealing with this whole time too, but also what the patients have been going through too, where they've come in and they have these symptoms, they're hoping for better, and it gets so much worse.
Effects like the last 12 kids. Pardon me, I mean test subjects. I gotta give myself distance from my feelings. This is science, nothing more. And so I hide behind that mindset anytime that I'm unsure.
I think this is so telling of what it feels like to be a medical caregiver, because it's like you're hoping that things will improve, right? And so and you're seeing these patients. These are people walking into your office. You want to do what's right by them. But if you continue to treat them as a person, part of you gets lost because you keep losing these people. And so in a way, you're failing these humans that you're trying to help. And the weight of that is so monumental. And that's why for him, he's like, I have to hide behind that mentality. He's hiding behind the corporate mentality, because if he doesn't, he himself will break, but he can't, because he's the one trying to find the solution. So while there's a patient sitting here that he's trying to do his best for, but it's not working, and it hurts him so much, he knows that he cannot crumble, because if he does, then maybe there's no one else that steps up to the plate to try and find a way to help these people. So he has to literally become like put a shell of himself forward whenever he goes into the room, because if he doesn't, he'll break too.
It was hard to find a cure, and so at times I come off heartless, but my job's to stay on target and bring this product to market. Gotta keep the funding coming, gotta finish what we started, gotta crack some eggs to make this multi-million-dollar omelet with these corporate funds.
That pisses me off so much. Like, and it's funny because it's only once he puts on that corporate mentality that he starts talking like this, because these are words that have probably been fed to him by the people that are actually behind the funding. And so he's trying to use their vernacular, and it's using stuff like crack a few eggs in a $1 million market, and to get to the $1 million market or whatever it was. Let me go back and read it. But it's like, yeah, to make this $1 million omelet, God damn it. I'm sorry. I'm so just flustered right now. I'm so, but it's like, that's the way that corporations can think about people. Just crack a few eggs and hopefully we get to the multi-million-dollar omelet, not the life-saving omelet, the multi-million-dollar omelet. And again, this is only after he says, I need to switch my mindset, which tells you that this is not him. This is not how he truly feels, but he has to think of it this way. And this is the only way to save himself and keep going down this road.
Make this
This is the mindset of that corporation, that multi-million-dollar machine that feeds off of people's pains.
Omelet with these corporate pharma reps, and they've been breathing down my neck, and they're the ones who write the checks. Really, what the fuck you expect? I got a wife and 2 boys of my own I gotta protect. So these kids at the clinic are just numbers I've written next to the date and time of the test. Nothing more, nothing less. Blame the parents if you want it. They sign a form of consent, but this.
Oh, bro. Blame the parents if you want to. They sign the form of consent. Oh, how could you ever blame the parents? Because it's like these are people who are trying to do their best to save their child's life. Save their child's life. And the only thing they can do, because they've tried everything else, is hope that this clinical trial is successful. So yes, they signed the consent form, but it's not because they had a choice. It's because they don't have a choice. That's why they signed the form. And the corporate mindset is to blame the parents if you gotta blame somebody. That's probably the line that pisses me off the most, because that's probably how a lot of corporations feel, how a lot of big pharma feels. And it's like, how could you ever blame someone for trying to save their child?
Jeremiah kid, there I go again. Patient 13, I mean, something about him's different. Says he wants to be like me, and so I say that he'll become an even better doctor, knowing that day will never come. His pulse has been getting weaker, now there's fluid in his lungs. Get some rest, patient 0, we're almost done.
That Dr. Meyers from Ren, where it sounds like he's like almost just completely feeble, just so weak. You can hear it in the way that he says it. And it's like, that's what the doctor hears. And he's like, can you imagine just the dissonance that would happen in your mind and in your heart in this moment? Like, as a doctor, you're trying to do what's right by your patient, but in your heart, you're seeing this child slowly wither away. And part of it is because of the trial that you're running. So in a way, it does kind of start to feel like it's your fault, even though you're trying to do what's best by patients, and not just this patient, but all around the world. And you have to kind of isolate your thoughts into how do I keep this going? How do I make sure that we go forward and I don't lose focus? Because if I start thinking about the weight of these emotions and the loss of these human lives, then I'm gonna crack under this pressure. I'm gonna succumb to the weight of this and just stop. And I can't stop. And so you have these two kind of experiences and emotions just in the inside of the doctor and conflicting all the time.
Tell me what's the boy to do. All my yesterdays are fading from the view. And every night I lay awake, waiting for the day to break, just to share another memory.
Waiting for the day to break. I didn't even realize it's like it's actually a double meaning, waiting for the sun to come up, but also waiting for the day to break. Like, you know that there's a day coming where you're going to break. Or maybe it's even a triple, because it's like waiting for the day that the breakthrough comes through. So it's like, there's just so many layers, but really waiting for the day to break, waiting for the day that everything stops, including you. That's just, this whole goddamn song is just a heartbreak, man.
Dr. Rick Meyers, September 29th.
That was such a brilliant choice, because it's like the flat line into the recording sound, because this is like, once you lose your patient, you have to go back and explain it. Even if you're feeling the weight of it, you have to go back and make your notes, because you know that there's a corporation waiting for you to explain what happened.
Patient 13 didn't make it through the night. His name was Jeremiah, and he loved to read and write. And I can't help but feel responsible. I gotta make this right. Gotta find that breakthrough. Gotta give the company something, or else I'm afraid they'll start to lose interest and pull their funding. So I studied every study and double-checked every entry in the journal I've been writing, just hoping something will catch me.
I didn't realize it the first time through, but both individuals had been writing journals, had been writing down the notes, both of them hoping for success, like the patient, Jeremiah, as well as Dr. Meyers. And in a way, they were similar, like they were doing the same thing. So there's obviously, understandably, this hurts for the doctor too, because here's this child and part of you sees yourself in them, and you have to watch them suffer and watch them go through this and lose them ultimately in the end, and it just breaks you.
Sleep for 3 days till I figured it out. And once I did, I knew that I could realistically vouch to have it finished up by Christmas. So I called and set a meet so I could tell my bosses I was just weeks away from complete. Little patient 13 and the 12 who came before him, and the sacrifice they gave us would be for something important. For the science to prevail, gotta learn to live with the losses. I repeated in my thoughts as I went to step in the office. Hey.
And that's it right there, right? It's like, he's like, I have to. If I don't, I know that this is terrible, but what's more terrible is if this never gets cured. So he keeps pushing forward for success.
I'm here for the meeting?
Oh, yes. Dr. Michaels, have a seat.
It's Meyers.
Oh, my God. And they said Michael and Myers. So it's Michael Myers, like the horror movie, and that's such an apt choice, because this is horror. This is true terror. When money is weighed above human life, that's true horror. And we see that all around, and we see it so much now, and it's horror. It is truly horror come to life.
Just you here today?
Well, you know how busy things get.
Right. Okay, well, anyways, I finally had a breakthrough in the research with the formula, and it's actually...
Okay, let me just stop you right there.
But...
We've decided to go in a different direction with the funding.
What?
Well, there's this new weight loss product in trials right now. Gila Monster Venom, actually.
Gila Monster?
Yeah, everyone's really excited about it over here.
But kids died on my watch.
Listen, we are so sorry to hear that.
We're sorry.
Thank you so much for your hard work.
We're sorry. Bro, it doesn't even sound like he actually cares or gives a shit. And that's the worst part, is like the apathy that exists to be like, it's fine. Sorry about the loss. Let's go on to something bigger and better, like commercialized pharma. And that is such a goddamn, like just such a letdown as a human, like you look, or you hope that everyone has a sense of empathy, and then you see corporations, not all, but a significant number, that put their numbers above people, and that's just so sad.
Dr. Michaels.
Myers.
Sure, and you really are one of our best and brightest.
But...
Listen, I'm sure we'll have another project with your name on it very soon.
No. Listen,
Great, I'll have my assistant reach out.
Assistant?
Have yourself a nice day.
All my thoughts are turning blue. Tell me what's the boy to do. All my yesterdays are fading from the view. And every night I lay awake, waiting for the day to break, just to share another memory with you.
Whew. Don't ever let anyone or anything convince you that money is more important than people, because nothing is more important than people. And not just people, but like living beings. And empathy should be the principle that everything is founded on, and yet it seems to be lost in so many ways across so many different avenues. And this song is such a great embodiment of that, because at the end we just lose the treatment. We don't even go forward with it. And this happens because it's not making the corporation money. It's not making the big pharma money. So instead, let's move in a different direction. Instead, let's move towards something that will make us more money, instead of something that will help and heal and make things so much better around the world. And it is such a goddamn travesty that this happens more than it ever should, which is never. It should never, ever happen. Wow. Man. It feels really weird to do the outro on, but yeah. I think you guys know how I feel about this song. I think it was amazing. I think it was brilliant. I think it's such a good reflection on things that happen now and things that have been happening for a long time, and the way that things should change and need to change. I hope that your week is better than your day, your month is better than your week, and your year is better than your month. Love you all and love each other just as much. And I will see you on the next one.